Good morning. My name is Heather Viron. I'll be your service leader today. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola. We are happy that you are here, whether you're here in person or you're with us online. We appreciate that you're here with us today. If you came in and you're new, you might have received a brochure out in the lobby. The one you received was likely very colorful. Please enjoy it during the service, and when you're done with it, please take it back to the lobby on your way out, and you can take one of these home with you, the black and white version, okay, because we like to reuse them. But please enjoy them. Thank you. And now we will have some announcements. The first announcement is lunch and bowling next Sunday, May 25th. We will meet for lunch at the Cordova Mall Food Court at noon, and then head over to Cordova Lanes for bowling at 1:30. It's $4 per person per game and $4 for shoes. Sign up in the lobby or online by Sunday, May 18th. That's today, so sign up by today. Yes. And then on May 31st, we have dinner and derby night. Saturday, May 31st, we will meet at El Paso Mexican Restaurant at 5 o'clock and then head over to Weber Skate Center for the West Florida Roller Derby game. Tickets are $13 online or $15 at the door. Be sure to arrive early and bring a chair. For details, see Mary Beth Ramsey. And I believe Joe has an announcement regarding today's congregational meeting.
Hello, everyone. Joe Vinson, outgoing president. The long reign of tyranny is coming to an end. Yes, today is the annual congregational meeting. So as a reminder, after the service, we'll take a little bit of a break. There will be some snacks, but also there's going to be lunch provided. If you are a member currently on the rolls, please sign in. There's a sign-in sheet on the table to my left of the door here. If you have been named as someone's proxy, I've made a little handwritten annotation on the side of their name. Please sign your name on both lines. Just kind of gives us a quick way to make sure we have met the quorum today. If you are not a member and you would like to stick around and just see what this process is like, you are welcome to. Just remember that you shouldn't vote when it's time to vote for items. But you are welcome to stick around, enjoy lunch, and just see what this democratic process of the congregation is like. We have several things on the agenda, and hope it'll be a good meeting. But thank you all for being here, and that'll take place. I'll start the Zoom call about 11:15, but just grab your lunch, and we'll get started as soon as it looks like everyone's ready to go. All right, thank you.
And now we will have our UU Principals video.
The Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola, the 8 Principles.
Number 1, the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
Number 2, justice, equity, and compassion in human relation.
Number 3, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation.
Number 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning.
Number 5, the right of conscience and the use of democratic process within our congregation and in society at large.
Number 6, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all.
Number 7, respect for the interdependent web of existence,
of which we are all a part.
Number 8, active commitment to dismantle racism and other oppression in ourselves and our institutions.
And now we will have the chalice lighting and opening words. This morning's opening words are attributed to Kalidasa. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty, for yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. And now we will have our opening hymn. This is going to be in our blue hymnal, Singing the Journey, number 1053, How Could Anyone? Number 1053 in the blue hymnal. And we will sing it through twice. Please stay standing for our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. You may be seated. Now is the time in our service when we share our joys and sorrows and concerns. This is the portion of our service that is not recorded. This is just for us here. And we're going to light the first candle for all of the many concerns around the world, which I'm sure you're feeling as I am feeling. There's a lot going on. We're going to light a candle for all of that. And then we'll line up on either side and share your personal joys and sorrows. And now we have a time for all ages.
The Hugging Tree, a story about resilience by Jill Niemark, illustrated by Nicole Wong. On a bleak and lonely rock by a vast and mighty sea grew a lonely little tree where no tree should ever be. How she got there no one knew. She sprouted stems and little leaves as any tiny seed will do. There's hardly any dirt for me, no forest breeze, no birds, no bees, but I will do the best I can to make this rock my home. Her tiny roots pushed night and day, and bit by bit the rock gave way. A smidge, an inch, a foot, then two. She grew and grew and grew and grew. The ocean hugged the rocky shore. I like you near me, little tree. Let's keep each other company. Soft gold sunbeams kissed her crown, warm as honey pouring down. At night she raised her branches high to greet the moon up in the sky. I wax and wane, I ebb and flow, I cycle through from full to thin, and when I'm done, I start again. That's how life is, you know. One summer noon, a pair of loons landed on her canopy. A pretty tree, a sparkling sea. Shall we make this place our home and raise our baby chicks right here? The little tree warmed up with pride. She spread her branches high and wide. I'll be your home, she replied. And can you tell me if you've seen the forest where my family grew? We've built our nest in trees like you, quite far from here, and so you blew many nights and many days. You flew on wind just like we do. They built their nest, they laid their eggs, and soon 2 baby chicks were born. Summer passed, autumn too. The little tree turned red and gold. Then winter came with howling winds and cutting cold that broke her boughs. The loons flew south, the sea all ice, the rock all snow. The moon was lost in thunderclouds. Mighty cliff, hold me tight, don't let me blow away. Little tree, with all my might, I'll hold you close night and day. Storms will come and storms will go. At last the sun melted the snow. But now the tree could not grow. The storm had torn her roots. The moon gazed down and softly said, sometimes we lose our way, but with some help we start again. That's how life is, you know. And soon a boy came running by, skipping stones into the sea. When he saw the little tree, he stopped and stared. He touched the tiny leaves. He felt the ragged roots. He shook his head and said, I can bring just what you need. I can help you, little tree. A tree can't hug a boy. It has no hands or arms, but it can hug you with its heart, and that is just as deep and warm. Every day the boy came back, carrying a full backpack. From the pack he took a tin and poured out rich brown earth. He packed the roots and tucked them in. He planted flowers round the tree and made a path for all to see. Now everyone will know that even on a granite cliff a little tree can grow. And then he went to sleep and dreamed of things that boys dream of. Now every day new people stop to rest beneath the little tree and dream the things we all dream of: to love, to share, to give, to dare, to grow just where we are. And to this very day they come. For on a splendid sunny rock, by a warm and bright blue sea, a great big hugging tree grows, just where she was meant to be. And that's the story of the hugging tree. I hope you enjoyed it.
And now we'll sing the children out. And at this time is time for our offering. So there are several ways to give, but this is the time for our offering. Our church is completely funded by our members here. And if you see people, not everybody puts in the basket because a lot of us do it automatically online. So we're going to pass the basket at this time, and this will be our offering time. And then we'll have a hymn after that. Thank you to our musicians for the beautiful music. Now we will sing a hymn. Please stand and turn into singing the living tradition, the gray hymnal, number 354, We Laugh, We Cry. That's number 354 in the gray hymnal.
We
Thank you. You may be seated. And now I will introduce our speaker today. Our speaker today is the Reverend Dr. Frances Jeanne Smathers. Frances is an interfaith community chaplain who trains interfaith community chaplains from all vocations. She has based her community development work on her lived experience and that of many who have been marginalized from traditional institutions. Please welcome Reverend Dr. Frances Jeanne Smathers.
Hi, it's such a pleasure to be in this space. I'm just immediately, when you haven't been somewhere before, you never know what the energy is going to be like. And so I just want to say what a beautifully disarming and welcoming, not that I came here, with resistances, but I joyfully came. But I mean, honestly, it's always such a wonderful reminder of how the Spirit works and how perfect things are. So I'm going to say some things today that you already know, probably lots of them, and that you're already doing here. And hopefully it'll just be a reminder and an encouragement in the work you're already doing, some reinforcement, and an opportunity for me to just practice being live with people again, because so much of what I do is either online or in a different type of space. I used to be a pastor, and I miss this setting and the music and the liturgy. So thank you for having me. I live out in Perdido. I'm single in the sense that I'm going through a divorce right at this moment. I have 3 kids, one in Asheville, North Carolina, 2 kids here, one at UWF, one in high school, and we've been here for 10 years. Love the area and the people. So thank you for the opportunity to be with you today. I see this Unitarian Universalist community as a refuge. You strike me as an expansive people of connection, justice, and restoration. In my community, the Order of Hildegard, which I founded and which was born out of my own resilience and is similar to yours, more similar by far than different to your community. But in our community, many of us have found ourselves exiled from traditional religious spaces, by choice or by force, and we're seeking a more embodied, authentic, and deeply human expression of spirituality. That longing for belonging, that ache for wholeness, is what, in my recent work, I have referred to as a longing for shalom, a word you would most likely be familiar with in an interfaith space. We know this longing by many names. Perhaps you've heard some of them in other traditions and other languages. In the native Hawaiian, which I recently had the honor of experiencing firsthand, the word is lokahi. And in mystical Judaism, tikkun olam, or paradise, beloved community, you may have your own word for collective wholeness, or many words. But something blocks our way to collective wholeness sometimes. And that's hard to put into words. Is it us? Is it something else? Is it outside of us? But we do experience an obstacle to collective wholeness. And one of the deepest obstacles to spiritual wholeness is shame, and that has been the focus of my work. My work is to look at the religious and geopolitical landscape, one of Christian nationalism and supremacist patriarchal capitalist imperialism, and understand how Christian supremacy is doing harm, how it began, and where the powerful spirituality of Jesus was hijacked. Traditional Christianity has centered its theology on original sin. My research proposes something different, that our deepest disconnection has stemmed not from sin, but from what I call original shame. And not just any shame, but in specific, my work has focused on shame driven by supremacy and misogyny. This shame has been weaponized by religious institutions to maintain hierarchies, silent dissent, and exclude the very people who carry transformative wisdom. We know this, right? Women, queer people, people of color, people with disabilities, the doubters, the mystics. Supremacy-driven shame, SDS, as I refer to it in my work, and misogyny-driven shame, MDS, are clearly not theological necessities. They're not spiritual necessities. They're tools of control. As Bell Hooks names so clearly, patriarchy is the single most life-threatening social disease assaulting the male body and spirit in our nation. It harms all of us, not just women and queer people. It numbs, it isolates. It teaches us to outsource comfort rather than turn inward and connect to the sacred there.
Amen.
Thank you. Matthew Fox speaks of patriarchy's self-pity. Dr. Brene Brown, whose research I am licensed in and trained in and use in my work, describes how shame shows up as armored behavior, perfectionism, control, purity culture, fear of vulnerability. These traits are not just annoying, they're symptoms of shame in systems. So shame isn't just an individual problem, it's a systemic problem, and it's contagious. And when we shame people in our communities, whether subtly or overtly, we drive disconnection, not transformation. And this is true across divides as well. So it's not just, in groups of like minds, it's across divides that we drive disconnection through shame, habits of shame. Much of this shame has its roots in the suppression of the divine feminine, or at least that's the way that I focus my work. And we see that first emerge, and again, I'm speaking from a pastoral and familiar history in what is often used. The word Judeo-Christian is somewhat problematic, but as both a Jewish ancestry person and a person who grew up in Christianity, I use the word with somewhat apologetics, just to kind of sum up that the creation story is shared, and so I say the word Judeo-Christian in that context. So we first see this suppression of the divine feminine emerge in Jewish and Christian creation story, in the creation story of Genesis 3, often used to justify punishment and shame. And in fact, this story actually contains clues to a lost sacredness, ancient Israel's relationship with the feminine aspects of the divine. The God of ancient Israel, Yahweh, seems to have had a feminine consort or partner, Asherah. The serpent and the tree of life are actually well-known symbols of hers. Mary Magdalene from the Gospels has been called the apostle to the apostles, yet she was minimized and even erased in places in the Christian canon. As Dr. Elizabeth Schrader-Polzer has shown, her authority was actively diminished in the early texts. Recovering this suppressed wisdom is not easy work. It is emotional, scholarly, and spiritual labor, but it's necessary. And it's really necessary for all of us to be aware in the climate and in the landscape in which we operate of Christian supremacy. But this is not just academic work, is it? It's personal. Speaking for myself, I've been shunned both as a pastor and a congregant, cut off from community overnight for being different or a threat, because the tools for shame resilience were not in place in those systems. I learned firsthand the spirituality of resilience in suffering as a deeply rooted, liberated wisdom tradition shared with all of creation, not one faith, as you well know here in your beloved community. When you're alone in the dark, you discover new root systems. And I'm not alone, of course, in my exile from the traditions that I grew up with. We have a systemic issue, and many of us feel a sense of exile from traditions that we were taught or accustomed to, people we've lost, communities that we've moved away from or are no longer aligned with. By now, you've likely encountered the masses of media and works that are available for public consumption, which expose the unbearably epidemic abuses of power in religious communities. Jesus and John Wayne by Dr. Kristen Kobes-Dumais was hard to get through. I recommend the book if you haven't read it, but necessary. Speaking of the geopolitical landscape. And we have heard the voices pointing back. We also have access to voices pointing back to the supremacy-driven shame that is enmeshed with our cultural identities. I commend to you Dr. Willie James Jennings and Dr. Christina Cleveland, who wrote God is a Black Woman, to understand our spiritual enlightenment, to understand how our spiritual entanglement with supremacy is just intricately a part of this landscape. I hear constant stories from our applicants to the Order of Hildegard that are just too much to bear. They're too hard to read. But our stories have to be heard. They have to be witnessed. And in bearing witness, we must care for ourselves. Compassion fatigue is real. Self-compassion and boundary setting for replenishment are critical skills in building refuge spaces. Would you say that that's true for this community? Have you had to learn how to care better for yourself and being a refuge space and hearing the stories of people who have finally found this place? How intentional are we being in not just showing up, but skilling up to make this a space and to make our spaces around us spaces where refuge continues to grow and shame cannot take root? That's the question I hold every day. In my behavior, in my interactions with other people, in the stories I tell myself, in my resistances, is this authentically protecting me, or is this disconnecting me? It's a difficult question. In other spaces, in other communities, those who speak truth, queer folks, women, people of color, are too often silenced, as you know. Their voices are explained away, interrupted, dismissed. We see it every day. It is spiritual abuse, and it is fueled by shame. But you have this space. And I bet that it is an ongoing process of continually re-inviting yourself to lean into it. Because the antidote to shame is embodied empathy, which is why the machine of harm seeks to demonize empathy. It is the literal enemy of supremacists, the archenemy of supremacist empathy and embodied empathy. As Prentice Hemphill, they, them, somatic practitioner, and Mary Magdalene's gospel both teach us healing is not intellectual alone. It is felt, relational, and collective, and requires deep, personal, integrative work in the wake of human experience and suffering. And I don't know, honestly, enough about the Unitarian Universalist tradition itself. I'm a Universalist, but I don't know enough to know how often you speak specifics of other traditions, and if this is a little bit of a trigger for you, for me to talk about Jesus in a different way, bear with me. I apologize, it's my background, but bear with me. Jesus, too, offered a different way. As we witness in the Beatitudes of Matthew 5, in Christianity, many miss this. But his commandments, so to speak, weren't just too watered down or boiled down from the Torah. He snuck an entirely different set of commandments in for those with ears to hear. And in the Beatitudes, blessed are the poor, the grieving, the hungry for justice. There is a universalist Jew's belief at work. In his most public theology, Jesus aligned himself not with a new religion, but with the blessedness and holiness of the human experience for all of us who carry scars of shame. These were important discoveries for me on the path to embodying a new and grounded image of God within myself. Image of the divine, image of the sacred, image of the holy, whatever that might be, whatever those words might be for you. From this root system emerged the Order of Hildegard, named after the great mystic and abbess who defied her limits. We are now opening our fifth cohort, building what I call refugia communities. The word refugia comes from an eco-biological term which refers to the way that life comes back after ecological devastation, like when Mount St. Helens erupted and everything was gone. It seemed like it would be years before the growth could return. Oddly, these little pockets of biodiverse life repopulated very quickly, and the mountain greened up much more quickly than expected. Those are called refugia. And so I use that word because of my work and because of its association with my professor, Dr. Rienstra, to describe these communities, places of refuge and resilience amid disruption. I think this is a refugia community here. And they're rooted in a spirituality or a theology that dismantles supremacy and embraces the image of God in all bodies. So in our work, we prioritize shame resilience, co-creation, and sacred leadership that is queer-affirming, trauma-aware, interspiritual. We ordain community chaplains. Zach Helton is one of our community chaplain members in our cohorts now. So friends, this is not just about theology, it's about survival, healing, and reclaiming joy. May we be a people who choose shalom over supremacy, even our own version of supremacy. Embodiment over erasure, empathy over shame. You are already doing such good work in this way. Press in where it's hard. I have found that even in communities like ours, yours, mine, our shared beliefs, where these concepts take root easily, we still struggle with the binary reactive patterns we were taught of thinking, which do harm and perpetuate disconnection. Ideological change alone is not enough to change the world. Empathy for those not like us, integrity in our behavior, aligning with our values, learning tools to operate in and perpetuate empathy and fluid thinking, these all come from shame resilience and not getting stuck in our own stories that we tell ourselves. Even progressive communities can be riddled with shame. There is much work to do. But the good news is that shame resilience isn't about survival alone, it's about building courage. And as we say, courage is contagious. We aren't in these refuge communities to recover and stay around people just like us. We do what we do for the replenishment and healing, but then we look deep within and access all that courage that is authentic to us and move outward in direction, as you emphasize service. The Order of Hildegard was born out of a similar call to courage. Where are you struggling with shame still? Where are you in unresolvable conflict with people that you know that goes beyond ideology and is calling you to skill up? Do you feel a desire to lead but still struggle with a sense of unworthiness for spiritual leadership? Can you imagine a more dynamic way of moving through community and helping others navigate change? If so, there's all kinds of resources out there, and I'm just one of them. I would love to share more with you about how you can become a community chaplain by joining us in our next cohort this September or any other time. And you can find the Order of Hildegard just on social media, Facebook. We go by the Order of St. Hildegard on Facebook, but the Order of Hildegard on Instagram. So come talk to me after the service. I'd love to speak with any of you. I thank you for the beautiful work you're doing here. I can feel it, and I celebrate it with you. Thanks for having me.
And now please stand for our closing hymn, Let It Be a Dance. It's in your gray hymnal, number 311. That's number 311. Yes, let it be a dance. Our closing words are written by May Sarton. Help us to be the always hopeful gardeners of the Spirit, who know that without darkness nothing comes to birth, as without light nothing flowers. May strength, joy, and peace be with you now and through the coming week. Go in peace.
Everyone, as a reminder, I think lunch just arrived. Feel free to go grab a plate, and we'll start the annual meeting a little after 11:15. Please sign in at the sign-in sheet. There are also some printouts of the bylaws if you'd like to review those for the discussion. And again, if you're not a member, you are welcome to join us and have lunch, but you won't be able to vote on the voting items. Thank you.